Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well and having a wonderful day. It's lovely to see you guys joining as well. Appreciate it. But yeah, I've not been feeling well the last few days, so I thought I could jump on here, do a little stream for half an hour. Talk about Tomiyasu signing his new deal, which is obviously amazing news to hear for the club after Ben White signing his deal. So I thought I would come on here for a little bit, answer some of your questions while I'm talking to you about Tomiyasu. So it's lovely to see you in here. Hey Dan, hope you're okay. Lovely to see you as always. I hope you're doing well. Um, but yeah, so as I mentioned, I'm going to speak about Tomiyasu because he has just signed a new deal with the club, and I did think it would have been, signed last week. So it's not like a surprise to me. I think we kind of suspected this news, but it's obviously what we want to hear. About him extending his time at Arsenal. I feel really happy with that. And yeah, I really feel excited about his future. I think his future is definitely at Arsenal. But he signed a deal for 2 more years at the club till 2026, and that's obviously what we want to see because I think he's a great addition to the team. He's one of my favourite um of Arteta's signings and Edu signing. I really value him a lot. I will be honest and say when he came here, I didn't know much about him. Um, but now that he's here, I just feel like, he's just superb. He is adapted to Premier League really well. But obviously injuries, come at a difficult time for him. He could be one of the best players in the Premier League, but obviously the injuries don't help him. So that's his only downfall, I would say. But yeah, I'm really happy to hear this news. Hey there, lovely to see you in the chat as well. Please do send me some questions in to answer after I've done the Tomiyasu thing. But yeah, obviously, this news has come at a really good time for us. After Ben White's amazing news we had the other day, and now this news, it's absolutely amazing. And I did want to speak a bit about what Edu and Arteta has said, about Tomiyasu, because Tomiyasu is actually a very loved person in the Arsenal dressing room. And you can see that on the pitch. He's a warrior. You can see how much of a fighter he is, but he's also such a down to earth, genuine, lovely person. So he's obviously a really important player to have around the team. I'm going to read out now what Edu did say. We are very excited to have Tommy with us for more years to come. He has huge qualities both on and off the pitch and offers so much strength and versatility to our squad. Tommy is a top professional, and it's great that he'll continue to play an important role in the upcoming years as we work towards achieving our goals. Yeah, obviously I completely agree with that. I think you can see how remember his first game, Tomiyasu, for us, and he'd never played in the Premier League, he'd never had that experience, but he just adapted so well into this team, and I think you are starting to see that more and more each week. So obviously it's really good to hear that from Edu. Yeah, I just feel like it's the right time now. And I know with injuries it's a bit difficult for us, isn't it? Because I know he was linked to a few other teams a while back, but it's obviously it's a nice feeling knowing that he's happy at Arsenal and he sees his future here. I'm really over the moon about it. It made my day seeing it this morning at college. I was like, that's so lovely. I'm kind of glad that they announced the Ben White and Tomiyasu one at separate times because I think they both deserve that credit on their own. Because I was thinking they might do a double announcement, and if you think about it, they both would deserve the limelight and the credit. And if it was both, then it would be a bit hard because they probably won't both get the credit. So um I'm really happy with that, and I'm gonna just touch on what Arteta said because I think Arteta's influence on him staying, and he was the one who got him. Obviously when we got him, I think we were gonna get Emerson Royal, who was at Spurs, and I was like, okay, let's go for that. And then when Tomiyasu came, I was thinking, is it like a last minute thing? Like, do we know a lot about him? And obviously we also I see with Tomiyasu now that he's probably one of our best signings in this decade. He's absolutely phenomenal. Um, and yeah, really happy to have him. And we're going to talk about what Teta said. And we are so pleased to have Tommy commit his future with us, together with his natural ability and strength. Tommy's attitude, mentality, and values are first class. Tommy is loved by everyone and has been an integral part of the squad since joining us. The way he trains with his desire and determination to be the best version of himself every day is admirable. We look forward to continue working with Tommy in future years. Yeah, I completely agree with that. And the way Arteta, word that perfectly is obviously, how we all feel as Arsenal fans, I'm pretty sure. So I'm very much with that, with Arteta. Um, yeah, I completely agree. I think he definitely brings these values that we all really love about Tomiyasu. I think you can see, that his mentality has really helped this team be successful. And I'm just so excited to see him get back. I know he's been injured for a little while now, and it's always difficult because he's such a strong defender. Like, he really can do well against tough teams. And yeah, obviously at the moment, we wouldn't really swap anything. You can't really take a Ben White out of the team. It is a tough one at the moment, but I think for me at the moment, it's good to have that squad depth. I know Timber will be back soon as well, which is obviously um absolutely incredible news to hear. But yeah, I can't wait for Tomiyasu to be back, and it's obviously really difficult because he's not had the best of luck with injuries, and I just know he's a top player. So really, really happy. Hey Ryan, lovely to see you here. Hope you're having a lovely day. Ben and Tommy sign, both great news. Yeah, definitely. It's a really good time for us at the moment, but it feels like so positive, and it's so important that we get some deals signed. Like, obviously, bringing players into the club is another important thing, but I think when we keep these players, it's just as important as buying players in the club. So yeah, I feel really, really happy at the moment. I think it's the international break, we can have a little rest now, but we're also really happy with what's going on. Um Ryan says, what do you think of Ben White turning down England? Yeah, it's obviously, I love England. I'm an England fan. But ultimately, like, it's a hard one because I do very much support managers that work at the club or at your country, but I do feel like with Gareth Southgate, he hasn't been fair on Ben White. I think Ben White's not really had many chances when he deserves it, and maybe Ben White is a little bit fed up of that. I don't blame Ben White, my honest opinion. For me, I don't mind players not playing at the country because, it gives us less chance, less injuries, and it gives us a proper chance to win the league. But it would be nice to see him, play for England, play with Saka, play with the young players like, Ramsdale's in there, Ben White, Declan Rice, Bellingham. Obviously, I'm sure he would love to do that, but maybe there's a little bit of a problem with them too. I think there's more to it than what we know. Obviously, we won't know much, and people will assume. I know the media have been assuming stuff, but if you don't know, it's best not to kind of judge or jump the gun and say too much about it at the moment. But I think because we obviously don't know, it's not really our place to say too much about it right now. Because if you don't know about something, you can't really just, pretend you know everything. We don't know what's happened behind the scenes. There will be more to it that we don't know about. But I respect how he feels. I'm gonna be honest, if that phone call never happened with Edu to Gareth Southgate, I'm not too sure Gareth Southgate would have picked him because he hasn't been picking him for a little while. And I know Gareth Southgate has his favourites, the Maguires, the Hendersons. And if you are being completely honest, there are other players that do deserve to be there in front of them. Because I know when players play for their country, they are much better because they either are playing with better players and they'll also represent their country, which is a huge honour. So it's a shame, obviously. The future can change. It would be good to see him playing back for England, but we also have to respect how he feels, that there might be stuff going on that we don't know about, which is another important factor to say. But yeah, it's a difficult one really because obviously, like I said, we don't know much about it, but just happy that he's obviously signed here with Arsenal, that he's happy for his future to be here with the club. And yeah, I think the most important thing is that he's enjoying this football, that he's happy here. I'm sure he will play for England one day again. I do think with Gareth Southgate, it's just a bit of a sticky situation. I think, like I said, there are other players that deserve to be there in front of players that don't really do brilliantly for their club. But the thing is, like with Maguire, he's so different for England. He's a lot better than he is at United. So I get why he might be called up. Yeah, it's a hard one to call, isn't it? But I think, like I've just said, really happy to see him enjoying his football, and I think as the club right now, we're just in a really good place. So I think you can be really positive and optimistic about that. I feel really happy, where we are at the club. I think it's just lovely to see new players sign deals. It's just like a really positive place to be. Um, and yeah, it's just nice when players want to stay here. We have been used to seeing players leave us to go for other, teams, and it nice to see that they chose to stay with us and they're happy here. Then also Tomiyasu is really happy and makes me really happy because I do love him. I'm a big supporter of him. So I'm really happy. It's obviously really nice to see the words from Edu, from Arteta. It feels like they're really happy with him and he wants to stay here as well, which is obviously even more amazing to hear. So yeah, I feel happy, and obviously Ben White as well. Last week, it's every week there's always something positive, isn't it? There's always some other news, and it's like a really good time to be an Arsenal fan. So I'm personally really happy. So yeah, I think this is the right time to sign deals. Personally, I think obviously we do have a longer season ahead, and it's gonna be hard with the league. I know we've got Man City not next week. Might be next weekend actually. It's in a little while on the 31st. That game was gonna be really tough. Um, I think for me, like I think having these players here, this shows you how ambitious they are. Um, it shows that they really, see that we can win trophies and be successful. I think we just need to show that we can get over the line, and really do it this season. So I think we've got to keep staying positive. But I think at the moment, like I mentioned, it's just a really positive place to be in. Elizabeth said thoughts on the Man City game. Honestly, I think it'll be tough, definitely. People have said a draw would be a good result for us, and don't get me wrong, yes, it would. Wouldn't be the worst result. But for me personally, if we want to win the league, we do have to win that game. So I think for me, we've got to go in that game with the mindset of winning. Um, because we are good enough to beat them. Yes, they're a really strong team, and it is getting to the end of the season, and we are getting to a point where we need to win these type of games, and no Man City will need to win it as well for them to win the league. But it's so tough at the moment. It's getting to it's time of the season where it's getting really exciting. Teams need to win all these type of games. It's going to be really tough, definitely. But I have so much faith in the team that we can do it. I know in the Liverpool game, I did see both teams, and I did think we are good enough to beat, either of them. I know we've beaten Liverpool at home this season as well. Um, but yeah, I do feel like we can win it. I think the league's really tough to call. Um, but yeah, I'm hoping we can win it. Let me know if you guys are still watching, if you think we can beat Man City. I think it's going to be tough. I think depends as well the lineup wise injuries. I know Gabriel was at Brazil and he's come back, and I reckon it isn't anything too bad because I've seen people on the internet, and I was a bit worried at first, but there hasn't been a big uproar about it from fans. There's not been, Arteta's not came out and said a lot about it. So I am thinking, is it as bad as we thought? Um, I think we'll be okay. Um, but yeah, I hope we don't get any injuries. I think if we get injuries, then that will obviously change things for us. But hoping we don't. Fingers crossed, guys. We'll have a good season because it was literally around this time where Saliba got injured last season, which obviously didn't help us. So I think now we're coming to a time where our players that are injured are coming back, which really helps us and develops things this season, makes us stronger. Because I know we got to the point in the season where we were picking up injuries, and we didn't really have the squad depth to kind of change that. Because if you look at it, Ben White was actually playing for an injury, and you look at players you have now that are coming back. Timber will be back soon. You can change him. Timber, you can always play Tomiyasu. Like we've got so many more options now. Kivio, obviously, Zinchenko. We're in a really good place at the moment, and obviously, I would rather us come back to a game that isn't the Man City one. They think it's the best game for us to come back to, but ultimately, I do feel like this team is probably ready for it. I feel like we can take it on definitely. Um, who is the most underrated player this season? That is a really good question. I think for me, I'd probably go with Kivior. I think it took him a little while to settle in, but once he got settled in, fans started to believe in him. I mean, I didn't agree with the criticism straight away from fans because I felt like he needed a bit of time to get into things. He needed more time to settle into that role. He hadn't played that role for a very long time, because he hadn't played games consistently, has he? So, um, I think for me, him, playing in that left back role, he's put Zinchenko out of the team. If you look at the team at the moment with Zinchenko, you couldn't really bring him in now. Like, it wouldn't be fair to drop Kivior. I think Kivior has stepped up massively this season. I think he's just incredible. He's doing an amazing job. I think he's very underrated, definitely. There's so many players you can call underrated in this team. I think Ben White, I used to think was underrated. I think fans are starting to give him a bit more recognition now that he deserves. I think as Arsenal fans we appreciate him, but I reckon other fans don't really see the credit he gets, But yeah, I think Kivior definitely, for sure. Hey Seb, I hope you're okay. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I just thought I would come on here for a little bit. I'll probably stay on for 30 minutes, so I'm happy to answer your questions while I do this video. If you are new to this, by the way, if you're watching on my Twitter, which I do stream to, please do hit the like button for me, do subscribe, do share this video to help me grow. I'm feeling much better today, which is good. I did have a bit of an eye infection. I wasn't feeling very well, but I thought I would do a solo live stream. I thought I would just chat about Tomiyasu, about Arsenal. I probably will be a little bit more quieter this week on YouTube because I do feel quite exhausted. I'm not really feeling that great this week, but next week I'll obviously be back a bit better than I usually am. But yeah, this week I might be a little bit slower, but I'm still here. I thought I would jump on here today for a little bit, and I'm more than happy to answer any of your questions that you may have. But yeah, this is really basically a Tomiyasu Arsenal new deal and answering questions you may have for me, because I do love doing like a Q&A sometimes on here, and it's obviously really good that I can share this online as well for people to see what I've got to say, and I really love doing these type of things. It's a great way for me to connect with you guys on here. I really do love it. It's super fun. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the stream. If you're watching, it's really good fun, and please do send me questions in you guys have for me. But I think at the moment with the international break, I do feel like it's, there's a part of me that wish it didn't happen, because then we could have kept playing. But I kind of think after that Porto game, I needed a little break from the team. It was a little bit like it was a bit exhausting, wasn't it? All of that went on. Um, so I feel like I just feel like relieved to have a little bit of a break. Hey Niall, hope you're okay. Hope you're having a lovely day. Always lovely to see you in here as always. Whatever you're doing with your evening, it's always refreshing to see you here. So yeah, really happy to see you now. Hey, Ricky Cookie, I hope you're okay. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm just on here for a little bit to chat about the news about Tomiyasu, answering any of your questions you guys may have for me to do with Arsenal. But yeah, lovely to see you guys in here. Hey Thomasin, big up South. Glad Tommy got a new contract. By the way, you will see us win the league. I have seen us win a title in 2002 and 2004, but 1998, nope, I was still 3. Oh, yeah. I mean, every day, every time we play, and every win we get, it's obviously a win closer to it. I do think a lot of it does depend on the game against Man City. I think if we could get a win, I would tell you that I do think we can win the league. But the problem is, I think out of us and Man City and Liverpool, we've got the toughest run. We've got to play, Spurs. We've got to play United away, which was always a struggle. Man City, like I've said. I think we're going to play Chelsea as well. That game has been postponed. I'm not going to lie, we should win that because they've not been great this season. But I'm pretty sure Spurs have still got to play Man City and Liverpool too. So, there's a lot of tough games coming up at the moment. But for me, you've got to take it game by game. Enjoy the journey of being an Arsenal fan. Enjoy the journey of the football we're playing, and obviously the Champions League as well. I'd love you guys to let me know in the Champions League how far do you think we'll go in it, because I've said I reckon we could get to semi-finals. Obviously, the final will be at Wembley, so that obviously is great because we always do good at Wembley. But I'd be happy with going to semi-finals. That'd be massive for us this season. And Brighton away, yeah, I can't forget that. And Aston Villa. It is hard because I know that with Aston Villa, they'll really want to obviously fight for that top four place. They're fighting it out with Spurs. I know they're currently on top at the moment. I think they're a few points ahead of Tottenham. Yeah, Wolves away is going to be really tough, definitely. Yeah, I've said the semi-finals too. I completely agree. Um, Semi-finals, but Man City or Real Madrid will knock us out. Yeah, do you know what? If we got Man City, I mean, if we got Real Madrid, I think we could do it, but the thing is, the problem is when you get to semi-finals, it is getting more difficult, and players are really exhausted, and it's coming to the point now where if we get injuries picking up fast, it's not going to do good for us, really, is it? Yeah, I think the problem is when you get more, when you're in more League Cup, or when you go to semi-finals, you've really got to go all out for it. And the thing is, if we go all out, then the players, it could be more of a risk for them to get fatigued, get injured. But to be honest, I think we should go for both competitions. Why not be ambitious and think we can win a Champions League, we can win a Premier League? I think the more realistic thing we can win is the Premier League. But I think we've got to stay ambitious as fans and believe we can do it. But yeah, like this comment said, it will be really tough. I do think they could knock us out, unfortunately. It's going to be so, so tough. Very excited. Me too. Got a question here from Seb. With Tommy and Timber now fit, should Kivio and White be sub to get game time? Wow, that's a really good question. Right, with Ben White, first of all, it does depend. If he's not playing through an injury and if he's okay, then you can't drop him at the moment. Um, and the same with Kivior, if I'm being completely honest. The problem is, yes, they should start, but I agree with what you're saying. I do think they should get subbed off. Maybe if we're winning comfortably in a game, then that should definitely happen in that moment. I think you got to give the likes of Tomiyasu and Timber time. With Timber, I don't want us to rush him back because I just think it'd be the wrong thing to do. I think for me, if we did rush him back and his injury got worse, then that would affect us. I'd rather him just be there next season with more fitness up there. But yes, I would like to see them get more chances. So maybe when they're both fit, they could come on in maybe the second half, 60th minute, 70th minute, definitely for Tomiyasu. But I think we've got to take it slow and steady when it comes to, Timber, because the ACL injury is such a tough thing to go through. We've seen that with the Arsenal women players as well. It's been tough. But yeah, we'll have to see if that, and it'd be good to see them both come back. Real Madrid never beaten us when we were first English team to beat them at Bernabeu in 2006, and we drew 0-0 Highbury in 2006. It's so crazy to think I'd have been like 3 when that happened. I missed the best bit of Arsenal's history. Ancelotti has also been there, done that, so would think Real Madrid would knock us out. Yeah, ease Timber back into the field, definitely. You can't rush Timber back, really. I think, like you see Leah Williamson as an example, we've seen her gradually get minutes against Chelsea. It was her full game, so I think you've got to really build it up. You can't really do it too fast. You can't rush into things. You've got to really slowly do it. And not rush it into it, because if he got injured, it would affect him more. And we want to see him next season, want to see him back fit and back ready, because it's going to be a big season. As each season goes on, it always gets more big. So, yeah, really, really can't wait for next season as well. But I do think, we can't rush players back. It's not really good, is it, to do? me to do that. I know there are a lot of watching you on here, so it's lovely to see you guys as well. I will answer as many of your comments as I can. I don't see White keeping Vinicius Junior quiet, and Bellingham will dominate Rice and Giorgio. Yeah, that's a good point. Bellingham, yeah, yeah, Real Madrid. Yeah, I don't know if we could beat them. If I'm being completely honest. I mean, with Partey, he's not had many minutes and he's slowly getting back into it. So if he played that game and he was fit, we have a better chance. I mean, Jorginho has been pretty good. You can't deny that. But I know it's a different type of game. In the Champions League, it's much more tougher. Yeah, it would be hard if we got them on Man City either way. Ash Stokes, lovely to see you in here, said, fit to play doesn't mean match fit. Bring Tommy and Timber back steadily. Last thing we want to do is destabilize anything at a crucial point of the season. Yeah, absolutely. Like, we're at the stage of the season where, we do have a lot of players as a backup, to bring on. I think with Tomiyasu, you probably could give him a bit more game time. I think with Timber, obviously the ACL, he needs to get used to kind of playing again. So I reckon you could maybe pay him for 10 minutes and then build it up a little bit. And I completely agree with what Ash said. I think it's so important that we do give them, games to play, and we can't rush them into it, definitely. Rookie Cookie said, hit the like button. Yes, please do if you can, and you're still watching this. It would mean a lot to me. Tommy would be the one. Stop, finishes Junior. Yes, he would. Tommy is electric. He is amazing. He is our super Tomiyasu. Real Madrid concede a lot of goals, but they always score when they need to. Yeah, that's what sucks. We would definitely score against them, but then I feel like Jude Bellingham would pop out of nowhere and just score a banger, and then we'd get knocked out, literally. That's what would really suck about that. Thomas In says, I don't see us winning the Champions League. Man City, Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich, and Dortmund are favourites. Yeah, I mean, if we're not favourites, I mean, it doesn't mean we won't win it. I just think we've got to take it game by game and be optimistic we obviously can achieve our goals. I mean, this season I did say I don't expect us to win the Champions League. I do expect us to obviously do the best we can, get to a semi-finals, quarter-finals. That would, be good. It's just progress that we need to make, and we are making, which is obviously what we want to see. And Wookie Cookie said, new deal till 2026. Is that correct? Yeah, he is staying till 2026. So it's obviously good that he's got a few more years here. Hopefully he can extend after that and improve. In his next few years at Arsenal, what I wish for him is for him not to have as many injuries, because I know, it must really hurt. It must be annoying when you're really getting into football. And you really enjoy the football you play. There's times where Tomiyasu is playing the best football he's played and he has an injury and then he's out for ages. It must really frustrate him, and no, it must do. But I just feel so honoured to have Tomiyasu at our club. I think he's doing an amazing job. The fact he's adapted to the Premier League so well and he's proved a lot of people wrong. Journalists wrong that doubted him. It's obviously really lovely to see. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. 2006 Champions League final haunts me. Outplayed Bayern with 10 men. Yeah, that was. If I was a fan now, I'd have been heartbroken. It's really difficult. That's the thing. When you get to finals, there's no guarantee you'll win it. Um, I think sometimes when you lose things, it's like the manner you lose the games. It's really difficult to take. I know for me, obviously, I didn't get to watch that, but the Europa League final with you and Emery was that for me. Honestly, just broke my heart. I felt so deflated with that. Honestly, and it is hard to take really when you get into the finals and you can't get it over the line. Um, yeah, it is really tough, definitely. Would love to see Timber get some game time. Yeah, we all love Timber in here. I think yeah, I think we've really got to just ease him in steadily. Arteta has a good record over Tuchel, so got that going with us. Yeah, definitely, especially when he was at Chelsea, we did pretty well. I think. Yeah, we've got a really good run. Obviously, the league is coming up, Man City soon. I will be doing a preview to next week. I should be doing. It's going to be a really big game. I'm so nervous for that, honestly. I think the two games this season were the Liverpool Man City one and that one. It's really heating up. It's getting to the exciting time. I think I think it could go to the last game of the season. You know, we're only top at the moment because we've got goal difference, and we do need to keep scoring lots of goals to keep that up. But yeah, it's going to be difficult, to be honest. And we had to go, but we should have given more time. But he annoyed me playing Tierra, yeah, as an attacking midfielder. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I think for me, you know, I think Uli Emery is a good manager and he's a top coach, but I don't think he's able to be at a level of Arsenal. Like with Villa, that is his right place to be because he can, you know, help them get top four, hopefully for them, get Champions League football. But and obviously he's had a great record, especially when he was in Europe. So I think for me, all things do come to an end sometimes, and I think it was the right thing. It was hard to see how people treated him in the end, but yeah, I think it was definitely the right decision. 4-1 defeat to Chelsea and back up. Yeah, it was soul destroying. I was just so hurt. Like, I remember watching the fans' interviews after because I just couldn't speak. I hadn't done YouTube at that point. I think that's when I was thinking about doing it. And I watched that and I just couldn't speak. I couldn't process it. I was like, I was so, like, deflated, I was just so angry, heartbroken. Um, when you get to a final, it's just, like, I was so confident we were gonna win that game as well. Um, yeah, it was so tough, that one. Um, I've seen a lot of support Arsenal. Let me move this up because my thing has just gone. Give me 2 seconds. I've seen a lot of subpar Arsenal teams over the past 40-ish years. The current squad has got me excited. Like 98 and 02, strength and depth, and they're only going to get better. Still think we need a centre forward. Yeah, definitely. Just like you said, this team does give us this excitement and this joy now. I think we're definitely onto something special. If you look at last season and you look at now, I definitely think we've come like a long way. I definitely think we have improved. I think the squad is definitely better. But like Ash said, there is still room for improvement. We could, you know, if Declan Rice gets injured or Gabriel Saliba, we are one injury away from a crisis. So I do think we have to bring a lot of players in the summer. I know we will be getting rid of a few players. I think we'll get rid of Cedric. Al Neni, I don't know. I like Al Neni, so I'm happy with him. Eddie Nketiah, I think he will be going. I don't know how much money we'll get for him, but I reckon, you know, he'll be on his way. Um, it's going to be really interesting who we bring in, but I completely agree. Centre forward is a must. I think we do. If Partey goes, we definitely need to replace him, but it'll be hard to find a replacement as well. Um, our players mocked his accent and he lost the dressing room. He bottled top four, but we finished fifth with a worse team. Yeah, you know what? It's hard because I do think because of his accent and because, you know, he wasn't English or, you know, I know Arsene Wenger wasn't English, but you know, it was hard to understand him. So I feel like the players, like you said, didn't get him in that way, lost the connection. It can be hard as an outsider to see if, you know, if a manager has lost a dressing room. Because I'll be honest, there were times with Arteta where I felt like he had lost a dressing room. Um, but you just go through a rough patch sometimes. So, yeah, I really wish Uni Emery all the best, except when he not playing against us. Obviously, other times I will wish him well. Um, Ash said we score. Hold on, it's just gone up again. We score a lot of goals, but that tends to be against lower teams lower down in the league. Still think we need someone clinical who can put away that one crucial chance to win in a big game for us. I absolutely agree. Like sometimes, you know, you'll have you can't win beautifully. It will be like an ugly game, and you've really got to find out that win. You've got to just take a chance and win. And that's why I think we need someone like a maybe an Ivan Toney or maybe whoever's out there for us. I think we need that moment of magic. I think with Jesus, I don't think he has been that for us this season. I think he's faced a lot of injuries. Um, I know at the moment we are on fire and it's obviously great. And like you said, Ash, we have been scoring a lot of goals against lower league teams. But for me, we still need a centre forward, definitely. I really believe that next season, definitely. Rookie Cookie, we never turned up, which hurt the most. Yeah, that was really, really painful, especially for all those fans that travelled there as well. Win a Champions League or win the Premier League? What do you prefer this season? Big thank you for the good work. Thank you so much for your lovely and thoughtful message and lovely to see you in the chat here. Um, For me, I'd want to win a Premier League because I've never seen us win one. I don't have a preference. The Champions League excites me in a different way to Premier League. It's just a competition you've always watched growing up that you admire. If I'd witnessed us watching a Premier League won it, I would say Champions League. So I get why people would say Champions League, but because I've never seen us win it, I would definitely go the Premier League. I just want to witness it. I've never witnessed it. I've seen us win other things, like FA Cups, which I love. So yeah, really, really hope we can achieve that. If someone is offering 20 to 30 million for Nelson, we have to cash in. Yeah, I can't argue with that. I mean, Nelson doesn't get a lot of game time. I know how much he loves Arsenal. Maybe he might have thought he would have played a bit more. It's just one of those things that just hasn't worked out, and it is sad, but it is what it is. These things happen in football. And he's not really, he does come on when he needs to. He brings great energy when we need him. But unfortunately, it just hasn't really gone to how we thought it would. I think Trossard will be sold as well, kind of like Shaq was sold at his prime. Um, I mean, I think Trossard is a fantastic signing. I think I do see him being here for a little while. I don't see him going, to be honest, if I'm being honest with you guys. I love Partey, but he's too injury prone. He might need to go. Yeah, I'd be open to selling him, even though that hurts a bit because I do like him. Um, I didn't want Arteta, to be honest. I said to my family, "Why did we hire a rookie manager? He proved me wrong, but one FA Cup in 4 years is not good enough." Yeah, I can't argue with that. We do need to win more trophies in that time. And I know it has taken a while to kind of get back to where we are now competing again. But yeah, I think, yeah, always the Prem. Love that, Lee. Hope you're okay. We'll definitely have to do something on my channel soon. Yeah, everyone's got a personal preference. Just for me, because I've never seen us win a Premier League, I'd definitely go that. Nelson must say Arteta needs to play more. I do like Nelson. I love his passion. I think he's a great guy, but I just don't know if he's at the level that Saka might be. But I also do think Saka needs a rest sometimes. You can see him getting burnt out, and you can see how exhausted he is getting with, his performances. He plays so much. It must kind of be hard on him. That's the issue I have with this manager. He doesn't play Smith Rowe and Nelson. I would like him to play them more. They're really good players to have in this team, and yeah, I agree with that comment. I think it'd be crucial to see them get more game time. I definitely want Smith Rowe to get more game time. If we saw Smith Rowe in the summer, I would feel a bit devastated. I don't see us doing it. It would be a surprise if we did, for me. It really would. Um, I just want us to keep him here for as long as we can. I want him to get more game time, like you said. Thomas into him to play Smith Rowe more. If it shuts up the Chelsea fans, I'll go Champions League. I love that. Um, it's just, I do love both competitions. I think if I'd witnessed us winning the Premier League, I would say I want a Champions League because we've never won it. And, like you said, Chelsea fans always bring it up. And there's always fans that bring up the fact we haven't won a Champions League. So I feel like the fact if we won that, it would just be amazing for bragging rights. It would just be amazing for this club to get that success. And like Thomason said before, we have won one FA Cup in 4 years. I know we've won a few Community Shields, but they're not really big trophies. A trophy is a trophy, and I will celebrate it. But we want to see us win those big trophies. So, this season is going to be massive for that. Being in two big competitions. Mikel Arteta is the man. Yeah, I think so. I think I do want us to see us get over the line with a few things. Whether that's the Champions League, whether that's the Premier League. I do want us to see us, have that success. But I feel quite happy with him at the moment. I do have my doubts a few times about how he deals with things with his team selections, but yeah, overall, I do think he's the right manager for us. Wookie Cookie said, bored to death of their where's your European Cup chance? Honestly, me too. Like, they have nothing else to say other than that. Yeah, Chelsea fans do really annoy me. I can't lie to you guys. I do have a few nice Chelsea friends though, but genuinely, a lot of them are not my. Yeah, it's hard to tolerate them, isn't it? Really, when they sing stuff like that. Um, Ash said, I think they'll sell Smith Rowe, Nelson, Eddie, unfortunately, as they've classed as pure profit for FFP and will give us a lot to scoop to buy in one or two strikers. Definitely think Eddie's going. I think with Eddie, I do think we could get about 30 million. I want to be realistic, and I don't know how much we could really get for him other than that. I think he doesn't play much, but when he does play, it's probably so other teams that buy him will see that he, is getting more game time. I remember we was linked to Crystal Palace a little while ago. Um, I know last season he was influential for us in our title race. He did help us for a lot of it. Um, but yeah, I think Arteta's probably come to the conclusion now that he's probably not able to do what we need him to do. And I think I've always wanted him to be at that level, but I knew he isn't at that level. I do see him playing for maybe like a West Ham, a Crystal Palace, um, to be there, the striker. I want him to do well wherever he goes, but it is hard. It really is. Really, Nketiah is not good enough. He's useless. There isn't a manager in the world who will please every fan. Yeah, you can't please everyone in life. It's just how it is, unfortunately. I think as fans, you have every right to question decisions or have your opinion. But I do think we're going in the right direction. I think, like Ash said before, you feel excited about watching this team. This team is really, really special, and I just enjoy the football we're playing and enjoying the ride of being an Arsenal fan. Um, so yeah, I do feel quite positive about it. Um, yeah, I agree. I think you can't please everyone. Definitely. Nketiah can't hold up the ball. His link-up play is poor, and he's poor in the air. The problem with Eddie is that some if we're attacking and he's in the box, yeah, he's good in that position because he can score. But when in the game, sometimes he'll go missing for the whole game, and I'm just like, it's frustrating because it's really weird how quiet he goes, and it is a little bit frustrating at times. But yeah, I wish him well. To be honest, I think it's gonna be interesting for me. Like, if we sold him in the summer, I would think it's the right time. I mean, to be honest, if he's not playing and he's on the bench, he may as well play somewhere else. I know for him, for his career, he'd want to play more. Um, So yeah, I do see it happening. I really wanted them to do it for us, but they've had all chances, but we haven't been consistent enough for Arteta. Smith Rowe is one that it will really hurt. It's going to be a hard one to take. For me, because like I remember when Aubameyang was here in Smith Rowe, North London Derby, he was like on fire. You could see the passion. You could see that he loved being a Gooner, and he always will be a Gooner. That he loved Arsenal. Um, but I think if we are being realistic about things, I do see him going if he doesn't if he doesn't play anymore. Um, it's hard, like you said, Ash. It will hurt if he does, leave. But we've got to just accept that we have to be open to it. He's too inconsistent. Yeah, I think that's about Eddie. I think so. I think like if you look at someone like Pepe, I think he had so much potential, but he was very inconsistent. He didn't always turn up. It is very hard when a manager gives you chances and you're not able to, turn up. Really, it is a frustrating one, but it must be. Um, Smith Rowe was so good at the North London Derby at home in 2021 when he scored that amazing goal. Yeah, that was absolutely incredible, wasn't it? Like, I remember that so much. Um, it really was so good to see that, and I'm really happy he had that moment with the fans. Is it right to say Vieira is ahead of Smith Rowe in pecking order? I do think if Arteta had the choice to play Vieira or Smith Rowe, he would play Vieira. I don't know why. That is. Um, but I just think maybe he has more experience. I don't know why Arteta does choose to, play him more. It's a weird one. I don't know why, but obviously Vieira does deserve game time. Not denying that. I just think um, it's just really interesting that both players do deserve a bit more of a chance. He's injury prone. Pepe Balogun should have stayed. Guendouzi too. This manager annoys me. Right, with Guendouzi, I was happy to see him leave. Yes, he was a very talented player, but I personally wasn't a fan of his attitude. I felt like he was very young, maybe a little immature. But I can't doubt the fact he really loved and cared about this club and had a connection with the fans. Balogun had a lot of potential, and I was wanting us to give him a chance. Pepe as well. It was weird with Pepe. I don't think the Premier League was right for him because he did always, he did try his best. Some days he was clicking, he would have a great game, and other days it was like hit or miss. Some of the days he was just so poor. It was a really difficult one to call with Pepe, unfortunately. But yeah, I think some things don't work out, do they really? It won't hurt me as much as when Rocky and Mighty and TT left. Yeah, I think those ones are just different types of pain, aren't they? Especially Rocky. I love Rocky. Growing up. I mean, obviously, I'd never watched him, but I've heard so many amazing things about him. I watched a documentary of him and Mighty, and I loved his passion. So, yeah, I do know a lot about Arsenal, their history. It's obviously really good to see what type of players we had at Arsenal. Um, 5 goals in 21 games, Balogun at Monaco. I mean, that's not great, is it? Um, yeah, with Balogun, I wanted him to. It'd be nice if he stayed, but then I did think the money side maybe be a little bit better because you didn't know if it was going to work, and maybe the Arteta and that would rather get the money, or maybe they needed experience too. Um, Watching Henri as a child was an unbelievable experience. Yeah, that does sound incredible. I never got to experience him, but I'm all really proud he's part of my Arsenal's history, and yeah, he is definitely a fantastic legend of this club. Um, but I know a lot of fans did experience, Highbury, those amazing days, and hopefully these days are back at Arsenal with the success side of it, with winning stuff again. I hope so. Hope we get to win. Thanks again. But yeah, guys, I've nearly been on here for an hour. I was only going to come on here for half an hour, but you guys, this has been so enjoyable. Answering your questions. I will stay on for maybe 5 more minutes. I'll finish answering the rest of your questions, you guys, or whatever you are saying in the chat. This chat has been so busy tonight, but it's been so much fun. So I just wanted to thank you all so much for showing me your support on here tonight. It really does mean a lot. Balogun fizzled out. Yeah, I do think that's what happened, unfortunately. Yeah. Don't worry, honestly. I'll stay on here for a little bit longer then. I'll stay on for 5 or 10 minutes. Yeah, I'll do that so you can answer questions. I'm happy to. Who do you think we'll be talking about in 10 years' time, like we do with I'd say Saka. I do see him being a legend of this club. Yeah, I think Saka's probably the one, or probably Saliba or Declan Rice. But yeah, I do really see them as legends of the club in the future. So yeah, I'd probably go Saka. I think he already is becoming one, but I think he'll become an even more one in that time. Saka, yeah. This team manager, if when Wenger took over, will be back soon. Yeah, it does definitely. Obviously, I didn't know that what it was like. But yeah, I think for me at the moment, it's obviously really good to see, how we transitioned into the team we are now. Back then, if you look at how we are now, to how we are, we've really transitioned over the last few years. Look at the players we had then to the players we have now. Is absolutely incredible. I was watching something on the internet and it was showing you the team we had when Wenger was here in the Champions League game, and it was like Coquelin, Chamberlain, Ospina, like it was all the players that Wenger bought. And if you look at these team now, it's a completely different team. Like you said, yeah, Wookie Cookie, the band years are over. Exactly. People don't make fun of us anymore. And it was hard to take. I mean, as a fan, you do have to take it on the chin. Like, if you lose, people banter you. Just like if Spurs, United, whoever lose, you'll give it back to them fans because that's what football's about. But we did feel like a banter club at that stage. It was really difficult, wasn't it, guys? I know you guys will know that. But oh to God, yeah. Martinelli, yeah, we've got so many. I definitely think Odegaard, Saka, maybe Saliba. Um, I think they're definitely got, you know, the ceiling to be a legend like Henry. I think Saka, I'm gonna say the most, and then Odegaard. But I think with Odegaard, we've not had a captain like him in such a long time, and it's just so amazing to, have him at our club. And feel like this connection between you, our captain now. Mikhail did really well to get Uber out of the door. It was needed. Yeah, at the time it was hard really because I did think Aubameyang would be a future legend to Arsenal, and obviously he hasn't. He's not. Um, it was really it was hard to take. I remember when he signed, I was so emotional, I was so happy because I've witnessed years of Arsenal players leaving us, um, for such a long time, and now we're at a place where people, want to be here and they're happy at Arsenal, and like Ricky Cookie said, we're not a banter club anymore. We're not seen as that anymore, and it's really nice to see that. It's a nice way to be. Better captain's desk. I can't honestly comment on that if I'm being honest because Fabregas was way before my time, but um, I'm not going to sit here and obviously say to you, Odegaard's the best captain we've had because that wouldn't be true. Vieira, Adams, he's got to live up to a lot. But I think at the moment, in the last few years, I would say to you that he has um, been a breath of fresh air. He has been the best captain we've had in a very long time, definitely. Um, Mustafi and Socrates at the back gave me nightmares. Ball was like a hot potato. I'm really glad we've got them out of our club. No offense, they weren't good enough to win the league. They're amazing people, and I know Mustafi went through a lot of abuse that he shouldn't have gone through. But I'm just saying they just weren't at the level that they needed to be. So I'm glad that ship has sailed. Ash says, great chat with you all and you. So thank you so much, Ash. It's lovely to see you in the chat. I'm so glad you did enjoy this show tonight. It has been so lovely to chat with you. And it's always lovely to chat with you guys and do these type of videos. Getting to know you guys getting to know me as well. I will stay on for an hour. So I'm going to stay on for 10 more minutes. If you guys have, questions you want to ask me before I go. I did not plan to stay on here for an hour, but you guys, it's been busy in here and I want to stay for a little bit longer. But if you are still watching this and you are new, do hit the like button for me. Do subscribe if you are new to my show, which would be very much appreciated. I know this is shared on Twitter, so a lot of you might come from there, which is obviously quite nice to get to know you guys there from there as well, because a lot of you do follow me on Twitter, so it's obviously really nice. Do you think having 16 days off before the City game is a good thing? That's a good question. I don't really have an answer. I'm in the middle. I would say yes because we're having a rest and the players might need it after such a busy time with Porto and how intense that was. And I would also say no because when you're used to playing football every week, you build these connections, don't you? And when you've not played for a while, you might get a little bit rusty. You might need a little bit of time to get into things. And in that Man City game, we could not make any mistakes in that game. So that is what I worry about a little bit. But I do expect us to be strong, and we're not like the old Arsenal. So I think we will be okay. But yeah, if we tough, when will the nerves start to kick in for the Man City game? Honestly, I feel okay about Man City game. I do, if people talk about it, I do get a bit anxious. I'm like, oh, because it is a must win for me. A draw, yes, wouldn't be a bad result. But then that would help Liverpool. It's obviously a difficult one to answer that. My nerves are already firing big time. Yeah, mine are too. I'm pretty anxious about it. The thought of it is making me nervous. Like, it really is making me anxious. It's going to be a really tough game for that. I think if Man City win, unfortunately, I would tell you that I think it's done with the league. Like, I'm not saying it's over and we can't get back into it. I just think that Man City will be in a better position than us. So yeah, that's the pressure you're in when you're going for the league. Depends on how the players come back exactly. It depends on many factors with that, with the league, how Man City are. Um, you know, they've got a very strong team. I think if we don't have any injuries, then we're going to be all good. For the international break, I'd rather, you know, our players like Declan Rice and Saka not to play too much. But yeah, Ben White's obviously not gone, which is obviously a positive thing for us. I can't complain. Touch wood, Gabriel pulling out of Brazil team was just precautionary. Yeah, I was a little bit worried about that, but then fans weren't worried because they thought it was us just using that as an excuse. Because if Gabriel's injured, then it's going to make it a lot more difficult for us. Um, you know, you can argue Gabriel's been better than Saliba this season. They've both been just as important. It's a hard one to call, isn't it? Really. Um, yeah, I think we've got to make sure injuries, you know, we want to make sure we don't get many of them throughout the season we've got left. I'm going to talk about the games we've got left actually, because I know there'll be fixtures coming up. You know, obviously we've got Man City. The games that you know, are going to be tough, like you said, Villa, Wolves, Spurs away, United away. Everton away, I think we should win that. I think we're okay when we're at home. Um, Yeah, that's the games, obviously Bournemouth. Yeah, I mean, Brighton away, Luton at home. Yeah, Luton at home, and we've got Chelsea soon at home. That has been postponed, so I don't know when that will happen, but um um yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how those fixtures go, but I think it's going to be, you know, extremely tough. I think you've got to take it game by game, stay positive, enjoy the journey, enjoy being an Arsenal fan, enjoy what the football we're playing. But I think if we don't get injuries, I reckon we'll be okay. I think we can get through this. Um, and yeah, I think we've just got to stay positive, haven't we? If we beat Man City, God, that will be unbearable as a fan base. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm more here for it. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, guys, if you guys have any last questions before I head out and round the stream up, I will um answer them. I'm trying to think. I don't know when my next video will be, but I will put something out on the internet. I might be back this weekend. I'm trying to take it easy this week because I'm not feeling 100% myself. Um, but yes, next week I'll be doing a preview for the Man City game for sure, definitely. So keep a watch out for that. But yeah, guys, I thought I would do the stream, but I didn't want to kind of go missing on YouTube this week. And yeah, this has been like a Tomiyasu Q&A type of stream, which has been so enjoyable. Thank you so much to everyone that's watched this. It does mean a lot. Thank you so much to everyone that has liked this, has shared this. It does mean so much to me. Oh God, this question. I've not even read it, and I'm just gonna say it. If we were to win the league, how drunk would you get, or put it another way, how would you celebrate? Right? I'm not gonna lie, I'm not much of a drinker. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know how I'd process it because since you know I started supporting Arsenal when I was about 11, around that age, and it was always a dream to see us win the league. We got so close with Wenger when the season Leicester won it. We were close, and you know, there's not really been many times other than last season that we've nearly been there. And the thought of winning the league for me makes me emotional because it's a big dream of mine. I want us to win the league. I want to see it. Um, and yeah, this season if we won it, I don't know how to celebrate. I'd want to get down to the Emirates. And yeah, it'd be amazing feeling. But I'd be very happy. I'd be doing a big stream on here saying we've won the league, and it would, um, you know, it'd make other fans annoyed. So yeah. Um, I'd love it. Hopefully we can win it this season. It'd be absolutely incredible. I'd love to know how you guys would celebrate winning the league. I know there are fans that can't really go down to the Emirates. I mean, I live a little bit away um from the Emirates. If I got a train, it'd take about 2 hours. So I'm not too far, but I'm not too close. But I would definitely love to go down to Emirates. The parade, everything about it would be amazing. Um, yeah, so it'd be amazing for us to win the league. I don't know how I'd celebrate. I'd probably be dead emotional. I'd probably come on here and just be like so happy. But yeah, that's probably how I would celebrate. To be honest, I'd be getting another Arsenal tattoo and getting drunk for solid week. Honestly, as you should. I don't blame you, honestly. Do you know what? I love that. I think if I ever had to get an Arsenal tattoo, I'd probably get Saka. You know what? I'm really fussy with getting players on the back of your shirt because I wanted to get Sanchez on the shirt. He left. I wanted to get Özil, and then it went all sour at the end. Like I feel like whatever I do, I can't. It's always, it comes at the wrong time. So I absolutely love that, Ash. I hope we can. Hope you get a nice tattoo. And getting super drunk. I don't blame you. It would be so annoying if we didn't win the league now. I want to see you all have a nice time, enjoy that moment. But yeah, we've got to really see how this goes. But yes, I will be back next week. I should be. I mean, I probably will be back at the weekend. I'll probably do another video. But I might be a little bit more quieter this week because I'm not really feeling myself. But I really appreciate your support. Appreciate all of you that have watched the stream and for chatting with me for an hour. You guys are so lovely. You're the best. And thank you so much for helping me grow my channel. Really does mean so much to me. And yeah, just do subscribe to me, help me out, help me grow this channel as well. And do share and like this if you can. Always comment down below and let me know how you think my stream is. And yeah, always talk to me in the comments. But I will let you guys go. You too, Wookie Cookie, have a lovely rest of your evening. We are nearly at Friday, so it'll be nearly the weekend soon. So we've got to keep smiling. But I will let you guys go. Have a wonderful evening, whatever you're doing, and take good care of yourselves. Bye.